Well, I don't know when we've had more excitement backstage. I'll tell you, these folks, we had trouble getting them in with the limousine than just the crowds. I mean, they need their own security. This is perhaps one of the most, it's hard to imagine a more singularly successful cataclysmic shockwave created by one television show. Are there men here who watch it? Do you mind? All right, you got to help me out here. Now, is Dr. Quartermain married? Yes, he is married. Yeah, but is it all right? He's monogamous. No, he's not monogamous. Well, who's he fooling around?
Susan.
Susan. All right, just checking. You want to help him? Do you know? All right, we'll help him out here. Now, who's Susan?
She's a woman in the show. She's a adulteress.
Yeah, what?
Adulteress.
She's a what? An adulteress?
Yes.
Okay. So she's not...
She's Alan's girlfriend. He has an illegitimate son by Alan.
Does he live with her?
Yes, he does.
Well, what's his wife saying about all this?
She wants him back now.
Yeah. Now, do you want him to stay with this, you want him to go back to his wife? His wife is a nice person?
No, he shouldn't.
No.
He should get rid of Monica.
All right, well, who's pregnant? Is anybody pregnant?
No?
Nobody's pregnant. At least we don't know if they're pregnant. All right, we don't know. Okay, well, you've got to help us fill in the blanks here as we go along, all right? I'm glad you came. You watch the show?
When I'm home.
You don't pull the blinds down when you're watching?
No.
Okay, some of the guys, are a little self-conscious.
No.
Real good entertainment. Good acting, too, right? Yes. All right. All right, thanks. Don't leave me, all right? Please welcome Dr. Alan Quartermain from General Hospital. Stuart Damon, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, from General Hospital, here's Joe Kelly. Right here. Come on up here. These introductions are going to... Trouble getting them in with the limousine than just the crowds. I mean, they need their own security. This is perhaps one of the most, it's hard to imagine a more singularly successful cataclysmic shockwave created by one television show. Are there men here who watch it? Do you mind? All right, you got to help me out here. Now, is Dr. Quartermain married?
Yes.
He is married. Yeah, but is it all right? He's monogamous. No, he's not monogamous. Well, who's he fooling around?
Susan.
Susan. All right, just checking. You want to help him? Do you know? All right, we'll help him out here. Now, who's Susan?
She's a woman in the show. She's a adulteress.
Yeah, what?
Adulteress.
She's a what? An adulteress?
Yes.
Okay. So she's not...
She's Alan's girlfriend. He has an illegitimate son by Alan.
Does he live with her?
Yes, he does.
Well, what's his wife saying about all this?
She wants him back now.
Yeah. Now, do you want him to stay with this, you want him to go back to his wife? His wife is a nice person?
No, he shouldn't.
No.
He should get rid of Monica.
All right, well, who's pregnant? Is anybody pregnant?
No?
Nobody's pregnant. At least we don't know if they're pregnant. All right, we don't know. Okay, well, you've got to help us fill in the blanks here as we go along, all right? I'm glad you came. You watch the show?
When I'm home.
You don't pull the blinds down when you're watching?
No.
Okay, some of the guys, are a little self-conscious.
No.
Real good entertainment. Good acting, too, right? Yes. All right. All right, thanks. Don't leave me, all right? Please welcome Dr. Alan Quartermain from General Hospital. Damon, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, from General Hospital, here's Joe Kelly. Right here. Come on up here. The introductions are going to... Take your bow. Doug Sheehan. That's Doug Sheehan. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Scorpio. That's Tristan Rogers. Now, our next guest, I'm sorry, he couldn't make it. We have Tiny Tim. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Luke Spencer. Tony Geary. I am pleased to say that with these 4 stars of General Hospital, I am pleased to say, from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, we hope you'll join us.
Yeah, I was just wondering how often they write the scripts and how often you may have to, right in the middle of the week, have to change and go a different direction on your script.
That's a very good answer.
You want to talk to these 2 guys sitting over there down to the left. Ask them about the change.
I like that, yeah. Yeah, we have a tendency, Tristan and I, to play with our scripts quite a bit. Many of us do, but I think we kind of
Yeah, well,
get a little outrageous with that.
we like to sort of take a little bit of dramatic license there and make the writers look good occasionally, you know.
The writers write all the time, though. They do 5 scripts a week. So, and we get our scripts usually about 2 weeks ahead of time, right?
Do you get yours 2 weeks ahead of time? I get mine handed to me when I get there in the morning.
Over here.
I don't get to watch the show every day, but I listen to it at work on my radio. When is Luke and Laura getting married?
What I want to know.
I believe it airs the 16th and 17th of this month.
The 16th and 17th of this month.
I believe so.
And being divorced on the 20th and 21st.
Being just out of my own curiosity and wanting to know, for I'm sure this is going to be a question that's going to be asked right off. I don't know why it wasn't, excuse me. Who's single? Who's married?
Of these 4 in real life.
In real life.
You want to sort of put our hands up?
Just like we have to.
All the married ones, hands up. So Stuart and Doug.
Honestly.
Stuart, Doug, and Tristan are married.
Okay.
Is that right?
All the single ones stand up.
Yeah.
I just wanted to thank Dr. Quartermain for coming and pay a little attention to the over 40 group.
You come on up here and I'll really thank you. Yes, ma'am. You'll stand.
I just wanted to ask Robert Scorpio something. I really like your accent, and I was wondering where you were from.
Where I'm from? I'm from Melbourne, Australia, Victoria. You know, it's a little bit at the bottom there. It's all right, you know, it's a nice place to...
Is it true, Luke,
away
that you
from.
plan on leaving the series within the year?
Who?
Luke. Tony, are you leaving?
No. I have another year. The contract that I have now lasts another year, and after that we'll see. But I'm not leaving in the immediate 12-month
How
period.
about Laura? What's that story? Is there
I'm not sure. That goes back and forth. I really don't know the answer to that yet.
I was
I'm hoping
wondering.
she doesn't.
I was wondering how it was working with Elizabeth Taylor, or had.
Wonderful.
She's a joy.
Absolutely wonderful.
She's got the dirtiest laugh you ever heard in your life.
Absolutely.
She's more fun to be with than a barrel of monkeys, and she loves us, and I think all of us loved her. It was a pleasure to be with her.
I don't watch the soap operas, but I just want to say hello to my kids back east.
I was wondering, Alan Quartermain, did you play Prince and Cinderella a few years ago?
A few years ago, I love you. I played the Prince and Cinderella 16 years ago.
Do you have any input into the storyline of the show, or is it?
Can you make a contribution to the actual storyline? Can you make a contribution toward a major event, like somebody getting pregnant or not getting pregnant or having the baby, or
What sort of
Oh, you know what I
contribution
mean.
do you
I'm
want to
talking
make? I mean,
create, you know what I mean, artistically, Ken? You mean it,
is that what you mean to me, Phil?
You can make suggestions, but
we don't have any real input
No.
in terms of overall storyline, we don't control that at all. But it would seem to me now, if I were involved in a show this hot, I mean, I'm as vulnerable as anybody else. I would start to throw my weight around a little bit, you know? I mean, inevitably, not because I'm necessarily an egomaniac, but because, after all, I'm central to, as you are, you're central to the success of this program. It's making whole bunches of money for sponsors and the network. So why shouldn't you have something to say? I agree with you.
I'm with you, but...
I agree with you.
I don't want anything to say, to tell you the truth. I like what they're doing with me.
Here's a question that I have on the phone. I like to ask the guy in the red suit, where'd you get your red suit? Because my sorority, Delta Sigma Theta, is red and white, and I want one.
Yeah?
Yes,
I
that's...
bought it in Beverly Hills.
Oh, I'd like to ask Luke Spencer what is his favorite food.
Favorite food, Luke?
Mashed potatoes.
Yes, I'd like to know, have you all
Guacamole?
heard the song General Hospital?
Yeah?
What do you think about it?
Got a nice beat, but you can't dance to it. I give it an 86.
Yes. I would like to ask all of you, how do you separate your lives from being on the show with your personal life? How do you do that?
Well, I leave Robert Scorpio in the dressing room at night. I don't take him home with me. You just sort of got to try to split the two up. I mean, it's rather hard. You're living the character maybe 12 hours a day. You don't really want to... You've got to turn off.
There is a lot being said now about this. 2020 just did an article on the idea of separating the character from whatever, and it is a catharsis that you have to go through. For me, my formula for work, and occasionally I'll come in and I'll have as heavy a day as anybody on the show. For me, it ended sitting in a bathtub in hot water trying to get the chilblains in my back and the muscles to loosen with a glass of scotch that big, with a script in my hand at 11 o'clock at night, trying to force myself to relax so that I could memorize my lines. I threw the script up in the air, and I decided that I would work on the script only when I went to work. They had me then. It's their nickel then, but I was going to keep my life for me, and it's worked out fine for me ever since.
Have any of you... Jesse?
Buy me again.
Jesse?
Everybody!
I didn't know, Jesse.
Sure. Tony Field said everybody on the
Maybe she
show
does. Who'd want?
Jesse.
That's got to be an Oklahoma expression. Who said that? I mean, I understand it, but it's got to be an Oklahoma expression.
I didn't punch that doggy.
Jesse, Is Jessie the adulteress? No.
Jessie is Emily McLaughlin, and she's been on the show for 18 years.
Yeah.
How much rehearsal time goes into each segment?
Say again?
How much rehearsal time goes into each segment? Do you rehearse and do your take on the same day, or do you rehearse on Monday and take on... How's that work?
You do an hour show every day.
Yeah, you're talking about prime time. For instance, a show like, I was talking with Steve Canale of Dallas. They do 9 pages a day. General Hospital does 90 pages a day.
I realize that it's easy for you to shut it off at 5 o'clock, but how about the people around you? Are you ever called to doctor someone?
God help them if he is.
Gosh. You get mail, you know, about, asking about your ills, but hopefully we write responsible letters back about that to consult their own physicians when you get into areas like that. That's not fun.
Those of us that can write.
I'd like to know how long the show has actually been on the air.
18 years.
18 years.
Yeah.
This is my very favorite show on TV, and all I'd like is a hug from somebody up there on the stage. All I'd like is a hug from one of them.
Well, the problem with that is it'd be pretty hard for them to make house calls here with everybody. We've got, I'm sure they, I hate to rain on your parade, but it,
I want to ask them all, did any of you consider yourself sexy before America declared you so?
Good question.
Never occurred to me.
Well, were you always the smashers, in high school, and did the girls? No.
I couldn't get a date in high school.
God almighty, I was 5'10", I weighed 240, and I was a pulling guard on the left-hand side of the line. Nobody would look at me sideways.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm a living testament to the makeup crew at General Hospital. Because in reality, I'm an 18-year-old girl.
I just want to, let me show a clip. Can I just show a clip before we break? Can I do that? All right. This is Stuart Damon, Dr. Alan Quartermain in a scene from General Hospital. For those of you who are on you'll remember, I don't think this is aired. I don't believe this, or I think it has aired, yes. All right, roll tape. Here's Dr. Quartermain at work.
I've come to stay if it's all right.
Of course it's all right. Are you all right?
All right. It'll take a little getting used to, thanks.
I'll do everything I can, you know that.
I know.
It's been very difficult for you leaving your family.
It was difficult leaving Alan Jr. was what was difficult. I want you to know I'm here because I want to be, not because I didn't want to be with them.
I know that.
I'm here because I love you. I love you. And this is what we wanted, isn't it?
You know, they picked the only 2 minutes I was a nice guy in the last 14 months.
That's because we love you and we want you to, well, we know all of you have your warm sides. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
My grandmother, who is 88, got me hooked on your show, and I was just curious, do any of you have children?
No, only me.
I have a 19-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old son. He'll be 6 next Friday.
How about you, Doug?
I'm a newlywed, no.
Tristan?
No.
All right. We're in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma with the stars of General Hospital. We'll be back in just a minute. Yes, ma'am.
I want to know if they have to get psyched up for their love scenes.
I'll tell you, I don't. There's no problem.
I don't have any, so the problem doesn't arise.
So to speak.
I really enjoy watching General Hospital, but did any of you get tired of the Ice Princess? It seemed like it went on a little bit too long.
Well, what do you think?
Well, there were
you get tired
days,
of it?
occasionally, when I was hoping that it would move along a little quicker, but I thought it was a very courageous storyline, doing science fiction in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that, I like that. I like the fact that our producer takes those kinds of risks. So
And I just love being on that island. I mean, I just lived for that, you know.
Spin and Marty take
Right.
Gidget to the artificial island. That's what we used to call it.
I'd like to ask all of you, I'm a small business owner. We have 18 employees. Obviously, we do not get to watch General Hospital, and after being here today, I'm aware that we're missing out on something apparently very terrific.
Well, we're going to have to get you a little 12-inch for the office.
I'd like to have your opinion. Do you think that I should bring a television set into our office so that 18 employees watch General Hospital every day?
Shouldn't employers do that everywhere for all employees? What's going to hurt you? Watch
Take your lunch.
First, I wanted to say how your nurses have so much time to just talk around all the time at your nurses' station, because I never do. But I wanted to know what you did to wind down after your shows, your hobbies, or what you do.
We know what Doug does. He gets blitzed in the bathtub.
Yeah.
Used to.
Oh, used to.
I sleep. And drive fast.
Yeah, we have the rush hour in California. We can unwind there. There's people, the DJs will come on the air and say that Dr. So-and-so recommends that you scream primally while you're caught in traffic. So all you see is millions of rolled up windows with...
I'd like to know if they're ever going to tell us who killed Diana Taylor and who you're going to end up with, Joe.
I am going to end up married to Luke Spencer. No, they are going to tell you who murdered Diana Taylor as soon as they tell me.
It was PJ who did it.
Yeah.
He did it with a box of soap suds down in the laundry room. He drowned her in a washing machine. Melted his crayons and wrote Anne on the floor.
Now, speaking of Joe Kelly, here's Doug Sheehan at work, General Hospital. We just want to give you just a little exposure to what's going on here on ABC weekdays.
I love this guy.
Got a penny? I want to throw it in the water and make a wish.
See, I don't know. Yeah, there's one. We get a good one. Sky's the limit. Would it be all right to ask what your wish was?
I wish this night would go on forever.
Mr. Geary, I was wondering how you got your start in acting. Well, I started out as a real pathological liar as a child, and I realized that I wanted to make a living out of that, and not dealing much with reality, and so I started in high school and then college, and then Jack Albertson took me to L.A. to do a play, and it sort of went like that.
Some of you will be too late to see this, and I'm sorry about that, but that's the nature of syndication. That wedding on your show is November 16th.
Yes.
Featuring, among others, you and your lovely bride.
And Elizabeth Taylor.
Elizabeth Taylor. Can you
She'd win?
imagine the rating on that week? Hey. We're in Oklahoma City with these talented young men, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Yes. This is directed to the Joe Kelly. You are my all-time television hero.
Tell him that. Tell him that.
The all-time. But this is my question. Do you still really love Anne?
I don't know what love is after beating my head against that brick wall. I'll tell you, I don't know. I think underneath it all, yeah, that there's always going to be that sort of attraction there. But, I mean, I don't want to offend anybody, but I refer to Joe as the only guy in the world that ever caught virginity.
I just want to say, Joe Kelly's my favorite too, but please don't marry Heather. Oh. Did you decide to leave Rick Springfield at home?
We don't usually travel with him.
Yeah.
No.
He's too busy making money on weekends to come out with us.
Excuse me. Is it hard to stay married in real life when you have this kind of adoration?
Has been for me.
I've been married for 20 years. I must hold one of the all-time records outside of showbiz, let alone in it.
Okay.
It either works or I'm a masochist.
It's hard enough for me today to be here with just one of you, but all four of you, it's just wonderful. Do y'all work out? I mean, do you, because you're just in great
Yes, we go out and dance. Or what?
Do they have a place at the studio where you work out, or you
I
have
wish
to do
they'd
that
get
all
one.
on your own?
Gloria, are you watching? We'd
We
love
want-
to have a gym.
Jim, at the,
Yes.
Will you two guys, they pay more attention to two of you. Ask for a gym at the...
Do you socialize with any of the people on the show after the show?
Very little.
Very little.
I was wondering if you would deal with more problems than science fiction.
We want you to deal with more real-life problems. Well, real life. People...
Like on All My Children, they did a series on problems with eye problems, and I learned where to take my daughter to have some questions answered.
You understand. You're suggesting a change in format for the most successful show in the history of daytime television.
Well, they were real good last year. But I mean, the Ice Princess got a little old, and really you can't relate to that. I mean, I liked it, but I'd like some, some real problems.
That is a very valid point. And what you're saying is that the show has the power where it could help to educate. And nobody believes this more than Gloria Monty, I believe. She brought on Dr. Irene Casorla. And when the Lee Baldwin storyline was very educational about alcoholism, which is a very prevalent disease. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't learn a little bit more if you keep watching.
I would like to ask Luke if his relationship with Laura is as personal off the show as it is on the show.
That's pretty personal.
Yeah. I'd like to know that too.
Jeannie and I are very dear friends.
Is Richard Simmons as fantastic off the set as he is on?
Who? Richard Simmons.
He's crazy.
Richard Simmons?
He's crazy. He's as crazy off the camera as he is on the camera. What you see is what you get. That's who he is.
You guys are sitting up there making a lot of fun about all this sex and everything. Have you always been faithful to your wives? Don't you kind of get a little on the side?
I haven't been.
I'm not worried about you. I want to know about those other things.
Yeah. You're worried about the married.
Yeah, don't they?
You wonder how guys that good looking in this kind of plot that gets this kind of attention can possibly be...
Faithful.
Yeah.
Honey, if you had to wash my socks, you wouldn't think I was anything.
That's where it's at. We bleed the same color.
I wanted to ask Scorpio, do you have any characteristics that are in common with the character you play?
We look alike.
Speaking of Robert Scorpio, this is Tristan Rogers. He's already told you that he's from Melbourne. And here he is in a scene from General Hospital. Roll tape.
Danger gleams like sunshine. Not an original line, actually. Euripides beat me to the punch.
Sometimes women like to think that they're the thrill of a man's life.
If you're referring to yourself, sweetheart, look, you are a great thrill in my life. And to make it complete, you also gleam like sunshine.
I like that. I really am glad you're on the island with us. Shall we drink to that?
Let's get our priorities right first, shall we?
May I say something?
If you must.
You taste much better than the champagne.
I don't know if you saw the NBC magazine piece on romance novels. Millions, and you did. You read them?
No.
Well, apparently millions of women are reading, are in a sense sitting down, I assume with chocolate-covered cherries, And absorbed as you are in these romantic fictional novels, and this is the electronic reflection of that, or the novel is the publishing reflection of. Does this mean that women aren't romantic in real life and are somehow have to have a sort of a fictional account in order? You understand my dilemma here?
I understand it. I don't know the answer.
But if people were having that much fun, or we're in a mutually satisfying relationship, would they be reading and watching all this?
Well, on the NBC program, they said it was the books made them want to have that. It got them up for it.
Oh, really? So get your wife a romance novel and you're in for a real nice weekend, huh?
I guess so.
Okay, you had a question.
Yes, I had a friend who was willing to give up her trip to Hawaii because she was sure if she went that Luke and Laura would end up in bed while she was gone. What do you attribute that kind of obsession to?
Good acting.
How difficult is it for you to learn your lines on a day-to-day basis?
Don't all talk at once, you know.
Yeah, well, it's not, everybody thinks that's the hardest part of the job, and it really is. It's the easiest part of the job. It's like a muscle. You keep flexing it and it gets stronger. It's not a difficult part of the job, learning lines.
Dr. Cormine, are you and Susan planning to have any more children?
Well, with me, obviously, you have to be careful. Every time I walk into a room, put my hand on a belt buckle, somebody gets pregnant. I don't really know. Nobody's safe from
I'm in trouble.
My 15-year-old insisted that we get VTR so she wouldn't miss any of General Hospital, and she wants to know, Luke, is Heather going to be acquitted?
She wants me to answer that? I don't know. Doug would know better than I. That's the
I'm really
storyline.
working on freeing her from the bonds of her own mess up. There's a real interesting idea that was a character that was the worst person on the face of the earth, and
I
I'm
don't know if this lady here asked the same question I'm going to ask, but as caught up in the roles as you are, memorizing your lines and all, how much of it is really memorized, and how much is kind of ad-libbed and you just kind of flow with?
You can tell when it's an ad-lib scene because the actor's eyes slightly cross for a second. And that's him seeing his entire life going by.
Actually, that is not, you don't improvise. This is, isn't that right?
We don't improvise the ideas. The ideas stay the same. Tony and Tristan, they improvise probably more than I do.
Well, I think improvisation is a good word for it. We know the ideas, we know the characters, we know the situations. And it's not only us. Jeannie does it. The guy who plays Slick Jones does it. Many of the actors work in a certain way. And one of the reasons the show has such tremendous spontaneity is that many times I certainly don't know what this guy's going to say.
Right. Okay, we're a little long here. I have to break. Let me just get this in. The temptation to do a movie. Who wouldn't want to back you guys and the rest of the cast in a full-length feature? Now, I'm not recommending it, but...
Why not?
Well, could it be an R movie? And how do you think you'd survive on daytime television if you did a movie like that? Or do you care? Maybe you'd make your big buck on the movie and go fishing.
Pretty good.
You think it'd sell?
Yeah, absolutely.
What would it do, though, to your image and all those other things?
I don't think it'd make a scrap of difference.
I don't think
so. How can you get the audience absorbed on General Hospital with network restrictions after they've seen you down on the farm in the big movie?
I don't think that would make a scrap of difference.
Yeah, and I'm really not interested in that. I'm an actor, and if I'm given a good role in an R movie, I'm going to do it. You know?
All right, man. And this audience will buy tickets to it. Yeah. We're in Oklahoma City with the stars of General Hospital. We'll be back in a moment.
To ask Luke, does the song Rise bring back good memories to you?
Oh, yeah. I love that song.
I like to ask Luke to tell my hairdresser how to keep all those curls.
This is all very cosmetically done. I have straight hair. Luke Spencer has curly hair. That's really true. Yeah.
Yes, this is to any of you all. Do any of you all in your spare time watch other soap operas? And if so, what's your favorite?
We never get the chance.
Never
We're
get a
working at the time that most of the other soaps are on, so it's pretty difficult. We don't even look at this one.
Yeah. You catch 5 minutes, 10 minutes of another soap, but we really don't have time on the schedule that we're on. Yeah.
I want to ask Luke if he does have any plans to make any movies.
Yeah, eventually. I'm hoping to do one in the spring.
Stuart, did you want to be a singer rather than an actor?
Stuart, did you want to be a singer rather than an actor?
Well, when I started out, I was a singer. I was in the musical theater, but that's what I was strongest at, and I just did anything to survive for, my whole career. And, now it's just turned into I'm an actor more than a singer.
I'd like to ask Luke what some of his hobbies are.
I don't really have a lot of time for hobbies. I like music and I play the piano. That's about it.
Gentlemen, is soap opera a legitimate art form, or is it the 20th century equivalent of P.T. Barnum?
You had better believe it's a legitimate art form. Let me tell you something. I am personally sick and tired of people referring to soap operas as the University of Acting. Now, wait a minute. Just as a second, just one point. Let me make this point because Phil told us if we wanted to get it in, so I'm going to say this right now. The industry has treated us like second-class citizens as actors, but when you look at the facts, we are turning out more product, better product, than anybody else, and we're making more money for the network than anybody else, so that's the big time.
That's what makes us crazy.
The reason I ask, I never watched soap opera because I work during the day, but I wanted to see what your opinion of it was since you're involved in it after all.
Thank you for asking that.
Yes, I would like to know if you use real physicians as a resource for the script.
Yeah, they have a doctor on the set when we're doing anything medical to make sure that it's as accurate as we can possibly do it. In the course of the show.
We did get one letter I got a letter saying about when Paddy Kelly, my father, was in the hospital. He'd been stabbed in the spleen, and they said, "You'd better roll him over, or he's going to bleed to death. He's laying on the wrong side."
Let me, for the sake of this gentleman, we have a scene which we want you to see. This is Luke and Laura. These are we'd have to say, the leading lovers in it. You want to stand there for a second? Now, can you see the monitor back there? All right, now, this is pretty heavy stuff. This is serious stuff. The man's in big pain. He loves her. You know that feeling.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay, roll tape. Here, this from General Hospital. This is something.
I have loved you. I have loved you. And I didn't want to. And I didn't plan to, and I didn't understand it, I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know what was happening to me. I didn't understand the feelings. I didn't even know it was possible for me to love anybody as much as I loved you. And Laura, I loved you too much. I loved you so much I couldn't think. I couldn't understand. There was, don't stop me. If you want to hear it, don't stop me. I loved you so much there was nothing else in my life. Laura, that's sick. I wasn't there anymore. I wasn't there anymore. That kind of love, Laura, would destroy me. Destroy me. It would break me apart.
Luke, did you rape Laura in hopes that she would fall in love with you?
Did he rape Laura in hopes that she would fall in love?
Someday end up,
Well, no, that night happened out of madness. His life was over. He was going to die one way or the other. He got drunk. She was there. It was just a moment of madness. There was no... He was deeply in love with her before that event, but he didn't do it to make her fall in love with him, for God's sake.
Out of curiosity, if a letter is written to you, do you get it personally or does it go to secretary?
All of the above.
Yeah.
But you...
Yeah.
We get all our mail.
Eventually.
Luke, I saw you on 2020, and I'd like to know how serious you are about your singing career.
Oh, I don't have a singing career. No, I'm just into music. That was not to say I had a singing career in the offering. Yeah.
As actors, did you begin on the soaps as a stepping stone, or do you want to go elsewhere, or do you want to stay there now?
Originally, this soap was a stepping stone, and now it is the place to be.
like to know how long Hutch is going to be in hiding and when he's coming back to the show.
Who?
Hutch.
Hutch? I don't know. No one can answer that question, so nobody up here.
We don't know the answer to that.
Yes, I was wondering if any of you had any professional acting, if you'd gone to school anywhere for professional actors, and where.
Did any of you
I'd
go to
pass
school?
on that.
I went to the neighborhood playhouse in New York for a little while, but then I didn't have any money, so I had to get a job.
I did an apprenticeship through an equity company in San Diego.
I studied with Strasberg for 4 years.
My 7-year-old loves you, Scorpio, and my 9-year-old wants to know what it feels like to kiss Laura.
Real good. Real good.
I would like to know how long is your working day? Like, do you start from 9 to 5 or whatever?
9:30 till about 7:30, sometimes till 3 in the morning.
I would just like to tell Luke that I love his leather.
Okay.
His leather.
His letter?
I'd like to say hello to all 4 of you from OU, from Bass House. Yay, yay. Also, Luke, is there a perspective?
Bass House, that's a sorority?
No, that's a dorm. We watch you
And
class.
it's on every day.
Every day. I'm late to class Tuesday and Thursday. I have a 3 o'clock class. Anyway, is there a perspective, maybe wife in your future, Luke?
In mine?
They're married. I'm talking about you.
I hope so. I met somebody recently that I'm really hoping will happen with.
Is she here?
No.
Oh.
Do you have an option to refuse the script if you think that your audience just isn't going to believe it?
I didn't understand the question.
An option to
Can you refuse
to
a
not do it.
storyline or refuse?
No, you don't have much choice in that regard.
I have 2 little bitty questions. First of all, I understand you went out and partied last night. Do you have a hangover?
Who said that?
Who
said that?
Second question, this person right here. The second question is, are you forewarned if you are going to be cut out of the script?
Yeah, they tell you in the morning.
I'd like to know where's ERA when you need them. Where's the female representatives from your show?
I'm sure that Mr. Donahue doesn't have to be...
Yeah, we have
told
to take
about ERA.
responsibility for that. There's a limit to the number of people that you can make sense with in one program. So, but
You're stretching it already, aren't you?
Laura's been on the show, and also I'm sure that others will be in the future. Yeah.
This question's for Joe. You were on a movie once before, something about heaven, and I can't remember exactly what it was. When was this?
That was filmed 2.5 years ago, and it lay on the cutting room floor at NBC. It was called Heaven Sent with Jack Guilford. That was to have gone to series, and they just laughed at it and said never again. And then after this show got popular, it suddenly came on the air.
Right now? Oh, how do you treat your women in your life?
We're in Chicago with the stars of General Hospital. We're in Oklahoma with the stars of General Hospital. We'll be back in just a moment. Well, I am sorry that this is fascinating to watch the kind of emotional shockwave that these folks generate. I know you join me here in Oklahoma City in thanking Stuart Damon, also Doug Sheehan, Tristan Rogers, and Tony Geary, the stars of General Hospital. From Oklahoma City, this is Bill Donahue saying goodbye, everybody. Have a nice day.
And promotional fees paid by the following: